All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Virtual Tavern Fantasy Friday. I know it's been a while. We've had quite the well, at least I have.
Yeah.
Quite the hectic past, 2 weeks, and it's only going to get more crazy. We have points where we can consistently upload every week, and then sometimes we have like a whole month where we're just like, it's like the house is on fire. This is fine.
Yeah, you had a bunch of shit going on. I had my own music shit that I had to work on recording, so like timing wise, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, so we'll at least get back on the wagon with Fantasy Friday. We are about almost halfway with our coverage of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Yeah, well, just a little bit, like about 30 minutes, and straight on the dot halfway.
Yeah.
But last we left off, it was the exorcism of a one Theoden king. And
yes, sir.
It was like the power of Gandalf compels you. Oh.
Your mother sucks cocks and
Fuck me.
Fuck me.
But yeah, the exorcism of a one Theoden king. We got to meet Gandalf the White again. He's been reincarnated. He leveled up. He prestiged, level 100 Call of Duty.
Yep.
What else happened? Treebeard. We got to meet Treebeard, the shepherd of the forest. We got to learn about the Ents. And that's pretty much... Oh, Frodo and Sam had a small scene where they tried to storm the Black Gate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were a bunch of migrants trying to storm the southern United States border. Except that border actually works.
No shit. God damn. Dude.
Say what you want about Mordor. Say what you want about Mordor. Their border policies are fucking... There's no migrants getting through there.
No, keep them out.
I want to build a Black Gate of Mordor. Mordor, they're Sauron, kind of a cool, not a great guy. Lots of death, lots of murdering. But say what you want to say. His border policies are working. Mordor's migrant policy 0, absolutely 0. We got to take Mordor's example.
Absolutely. You know what? We got to try to make it to where we can write a bill that's similar to their structure. Okay.
I'm introducing my running mate, for 2024's presidential campaigns. Give it a round of applause for Sauron, Lord of Darkness. He's going to be my head of chief of staff for migration.
Dude, just imagine the fucking presidential debates going down and someone pisses off Sauron so he just fucking gets his mace and starts just throwing him around.
Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, that's everything that happened last episode. So other things about news about the channel. If you're waiting on Sci-Fi Sunday, I'm hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be getting that episode out this week. Obviously there's things going on in the background with our lives and everything. But once we get that train rolling, it'll become just like, all right, plug and play, edit, plug and play.
Yeah. We're having to still kind of make some stuff for it and get it to where everything's set up. Like Fantasy Friday, we have it to where it's literally just fucking...
Yeah.
Okay,
once the engine's running, you can keep it running pretty well, but the hardest part is getting started. So hopefully this weekend, if you're waiting for that. Other than that, before we get into our coverage of the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers Extendo Cock Edition, we have house cleaning shit that we do. It takes about 5-10 minutes, very quick. So our plugs. So if you're watching this on YouTube, obviously, we have a YouTube, but also we publish on Spotify and a whole other places. So if you prefer Spotify, let's say you have Spotify Premium, no ads, go follow us there. You can still see our videos.
Yep.
YouTube, if you have YouTube Red and you prefer to get your podcast that way, obviously subscribe to us there. And we have short form content, and I'm going to be getting into the habit of making more. Oh no! Oh! I had my ring light hanging from a fucking precipice. No.
Tell you what, well, you're having your existential crisis over there.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so we...
It happened again!
Anyway, yeah, we have short form content. He's going to be getting into making more YouTube shorts for, obviously, our YouTube channel. And we also have a TikTok, which will be virtual_tavern_podcast.
Yes.
I have quite a few still to upload, but recently it's been struggling. The algorithm lost us and it won't pick us back up. So I'm hoping just doing a fucking mag dump of the rest of them will help bring that back around, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to toy around with it and see what I can do.
I eventually do, once I get more free time, I want to make more of my traditional YouTube shorts too.
Yeah.
I like the Opus Clips ones because, it's easy and everything, and I could throw out 10, fucking spam. But I do like spending like an hour or so on my my actual YouTube shorts. I might start making those again.
Yeah, no, I really liked your style too. Like they were fucking on point.
Yeah, but yeah, just go subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we're on pretty much everything. So as far as our email, we could always appreciate an email from you guys, and we will read it on the podcast. Our email is contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com. We would absolutely love to hear from you. We haven't been getting any emails lately, even though our analytics been holding strong. We have a solid listenership on Spotify and on YouTube. Now that I've been publishing the videos and everything, we get a couple hundred views every week on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I know you're listening. I know you're watching. Send us an email. Let us know how you're doing.
Yeah, let us know how you guys are doing. If you guys have theories on topics that we discuss or anything like that, feel free to email us at contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com.
Oh, I was going to let you do it this time because I always cut you off. May call us chlamydia. But I think that's it besides our talking point recap. Our talking point recap is the last thing we do. It kind of sets the stage for the next episode. So for those of you that don't know, a talking point recap for us is an opportunity for us to reflect on the previous segment of whatever we're covering. So as we talked about briefly last episode, the exorcism of Theoden King, we got to meet Treebeard and the Black Gate of Mordor. That's pretty much the big three major scenes. Hunter, my talking point recap for you, it's more of a hypothetical.
Okay.
So we got to meet Treebeard for the first time, right? The Ents of Fangorn Forest.
Yes.
Who do you think would win in a straight up brawl? An attack troll, fully armored with a weapon and everything, or an Ent?
Ooh.
Like the ones we saw in the third movie storming the gates of Minas Tirith. Those heavily armored fuckers.
Fuck, dude. That's a tough fucking fight, bro. I feel like probably the troll is gonna fucking...
You think so?
I think so, just because they're gonna have that the additional weaponry and stuff. Like obviously the Ents are they're powerful motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But you get a couple of swings into their fucking legs or something, they're gonna be immobilized.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go probably the orcs or the trolls.
Yeah, I was leaning that way too. Like if it was just bare fists and everything, I think the Ent would come out on top.
Ent would fuck him up.
But if the attack troll has like a battle hammer or a mace or some kind of steel or iron weapon, he can just hack that fucking wood,
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, like it'd be a long, drawn out fight, but in the end, I think troll takes it.
Yeah.
Mine for you,
okay,
is how do you think the members of the Fellowship that were there would have reacted had Gandalf, during the exorcism of one Theoden king, had accidentally killed him? Like if he himself couldn't take it after Saruman got thrown out of him, like what if his body was just so drained?
They would have to fight their way out because you just killed their king.
Yeah.
So there was about like 20 or 25 guardsmen in that royal hall.
Yeah.
Now you have to, even the ones that were taking your side, now you're gonna have to fight them. Otherwise you'll be in prison and probably sentenced to death. You just killed their king.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning towards too. Like what I'm picturing is, have you ever seen the clip from the Kingsman where there's like this big ass fucking brawl? I think it's in a church.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm picturing something kind of like that for them to get the fuck out of there.
Well, I don't think that Aragorn would have the heart to kill his own people too.
Maybe, but I mean, if you got a fucking sword coming at you, like,
no,
there's only so much you can do. He might disarm them and things like that, but...
No, I think Aragorn, he's a very honorable person. I think he would lay down his arms. I mean, they didn't have swords to shit to begin with. That's another thing. They were bare-fisted. The only one that had a weapon is Gandalf.
That's true.
I don't think they would have like tried to fight and kill their way out. I think they would have, accepted their punishment. And that'd be the end of the series. They'd all be executed, you know, hangman style or whatever they do, capital punishment for Rohan.
Dude, if Gandalf died again, what color would he come back as? I'm Gandalf the Black.
Yo, suck at that belt. I can't.
I've got Gandalfro.
I can't. He comes back with an afro. That's fucked. Anyway. Yeah.
I just derailed that whole thing, didn't I?
I have to like Control Alt reboot my fucking brain after that. Anyway, yeah, so that's our talking point recap. It's an opportunity for us to reflect on the previous segment, and, a little fun thing for us to do. And now we can dig right deep, balls deep, into our coverage of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. So last we left off, Theoden, obviously was exercised, and he got his youth back, his vitality back, and they banished Grima Wormtongue, all that. And they had the little council meeting and everything, and basically Gandalf saying, you're under attack, you must save your people. Aragorn tries to chime in and says, you're already under attack, open wars. That's the line. Open wars upon you, whether you would risk it or not.
Yeah.
And
last time I checked, Theoden, not Aragorn, is king of Ron.
Yeah, Theoden throws that out, and then Gandalf's like, all right, motherfucker, you're the king, act like a king, what are we gonna do? And that's pretty much where we left it off. And Hama, who's like a lieutenant of Rohan, is basically giving the evacuation order for Edoras.
Yeah.
And Edoras, it's a nice little stronghold, but it's not going to withstand a full siege.
Mm-mm.
The walls are only, logs that are spiked up, and everything. So they could easily, the Uruk-hai could fucking battering ram or, take a ballista and yank those fucking walls down. They're just wood.
Yeah.
So Theoden is making kind of the smart decision to retreat to Helm's Deep, which is a stone fortress, but now you're kind of boxing yourself in too.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he obviously didn't know that, like, Saruman and all them have been doing all of this alchemy bullshit so that way they can have fucking gunpowder to blow a hole in the motherfucker.
Theoden is vastly underestimating his foe, because he's fought in wars past, goblins and orcs and, the rabble of, evil. But these are highly coordinated, highly organized, technologically advanced, fucking juiced up roid jockeys with gunpowder.
Yeah.
Like, he has never fought an enemy like this. And Gimli will say it later on in the film too. These are Uruk-hai. Their armor is thick. Their shields are broad.
Yeah.
Because they fought them in the Fellowship. Like, these guys are packing a punch.
Yeah, they fucking hurt.
But Gandalf, and Aragorn, they go to the stables nearby, and Gandalf is saying, he thinks he's leading them to safety, but what he will get is a massacre.
Yeah.
And, Theoden, he's very traditional, rooted in his old beliefs and everything. He wants to live up to his father's name, that glory and everything, and it's clouding his critical judgment.
Yeah.
His, tactical decision-making. He's not thinking like a tactical, commander. He's thinking, oh, what's the best way I can go out in a blaze of glory?
Yeah.
But
you want to die? You want to die a legend, or do you want to go out of old age? Where the fuck it is? Dexter
cyberpunk themed.
Yeah.
Dexter Deshawn. But Aragorn, I think this is another extended scene too. He's going to the stables, and I think this is Brago, the horse's name. It's a darkish brownish horse.
I have no idea. I didn't even know the horse had a name. Oh,
yeah. So Aragorn is calming this horse and everything. It's a wild horse, and I think its previous owner had died.
Yeah.
And Aragorn, being a ranger of the wilds, this is actually an extended scene that I wish they kept in the film.
Yeah.
Because it shows how Aragorn, being one of the Dunedain, is able to calm and soothe creatures and beasts. And he's able to bring this beast and this horse, calm him down and everything. And Eowyn is like, your name is Kingly. And this is the first time Eowyn, who is the niece of Theoden, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time they have an interaction, and she's just completely enamored by him.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're a ranger from the north, and, I don't think, no, this isn't where she figures out he's one of the Dunedain. She does that later. But he's basically saying, I was raised in Rivendell. You talk like one of the elves. And that's when he says, I was raised in Rivendell for a time and everything.
Yeah.
And he says, let this horse go. He's seen enough of war. And we'll see this horse later on in the film. And we get another extended scene where Wormtongue, now he's running home to daddy,
Papa, they beat me, Papa.
And Saruman, he's like, Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Fool. Does he seek to humble me with his newfound piety? And Saruman, he's playing it off right now, but he's obviously shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, because Gandalf full on kicked his ass, and from that vast fucking distance, literally fucking threw him to get him out of Theoden.
Yeah. He's trying to play it all strong and high and mighty right now, but Saruman is literally pissing his pants right now.
Yeah.
He's never had to like face that kind of power. He's been the top dog for so long in like the Council of the Wizards.
Yeah.
And now he has like a contender. He's like, oh fuck.
Oh no. I forgot what this is like.
And Wormtongue, he's still like cleaning the wound on his lip and everything. And he's talking about Aragorn. And he's talking about the ring that Aragorn has, and it's not like a ring of power or anything, but it is like a family crest ring.
Oh, okay.
And that ring signifies like who he is. It's the ring of Barahir. I don't believe it's one of the rings of power, obviously, because all the 9 rings of power that were given to men are with the Nazgul.
Yeah.
It's just like a royalty, you know, like a sign of status is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a gem with 2 serpents intertwined, one devouring, and you know, like the serpents eating each other.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the lore behind this, but it's like something to do with like his rite of passage. Saruman basically is like, oh, Gandalf has found his heir. He's like, oh, please, the race of men will fall.
Yeah.
And Saruman, you know, is kind of like Elrond, where you know, the race of men gives little hope and little excitement for, you know, being the saving grace, the saving species of Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, men? The fuck are you gonna do with men?
Oh, whoopee. These fucking men are gonna go around and fucking kill everybody. No. Especially when, like, you know, for Saruman, like, comparing Uruk-hai to men, like, big fucking difference in status. Like, Uruk-hai are going to be bigger, they're going to be stronger, so he's going to think that they're just going to fucking wipe the floor with them. Plus, you know, obviously he, being as powerful as he is, he's a little bit more arrogant than some people would be. Same with Elrond, honestly.
Yeah. And we go back to Theoden, and Theoden, this kind of goes with what I was saying, how he's trying to like convince himself that he's making the right decision. One of the other lieutenants of Rohan, and Theoden is like, this is not a defeat. And the knight is like, all right, whatever you say, Theoden.
Yeah, cool story, bro.
But he's even trying to convince himself. He's like, we will return.
Yeah.
And he's, how do I describe it? He's like the commander that hasn't fought in a real war in so long, so he's making dumb decisions.
Yeah, like he's out of touch and rusty.
I'm out of touch.
Jesus Christ.
I'm out of time.
But yeah, you know, he hasn't had to actually deal with anything in so long that he's making poor decisions like very hastily. He's not really thinking anything through.
Absolutely. And now we go to a scene where Eowyn, you know, obviously is a new character and everything. We got to spend a little time with this person and get to know him.
Yeah.
And Eowyn, you know, in the fucking grand hall, pulls out a sword and starts training with it, which I don't understand. If women aren't allowed to like bear arms, why is she doing it in the grand hall?
Big dick energy. I don't fucking know.
Big dick energy. But I really like Eowyn's character because she is training and everything, and then she goes back to strike, and then Aragorn was right there with his little elvish dagger.
Yeah.
And parries it, and she's like, oh fuck. Like just this wide-eyed stare, like, I didn't know you were gonna be there.
Oh no.
Oh no. But they start talking, and Aragorn's, you know, starting to learn more about her and everything. And Eowyn says, women learned of this country long ago to wield a sword or die upon it.
Yeah.
I fear neither death nor pain. And Aragorn says, what do you fear, my lady? And she says, a cage, to sit upon a precipice until old age, you know, fall upon me. And that says a lot about her character, that she doesn't fear death or anything. She fears being useless.
Yeah. Which honestly, like with how Theoden's trying to play it out, is the complete opposite of how her mind works. You know, she wants to be a part of the solution, not just a fucking another casualty.
Yeah. And, you know, we won't see it this film, but in the next film, we'll see that, you know, she's a great fighter in her own way.
Yeah.
And that's what she fears of most of all, is, you know, sitting on the sidelines doing nothing. It's like you're fucking on a mountainside and you see this tsunami coming towards you and you can do nothing but just sit there and accept your fate. That's what she fears most of all.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I said, you know, she wants to be a part of the solution and wants to try to help defend her people. She doesn't want to just sit back and wait for fucking death to come to her.
Yeah. But we'll see more of her later on. But great character, you know. There are a lot of the side characters in this trilogy. They never feel like wasted or just like I can't imagine a single side character in this trilogy where I'm like, get rid of them.
Yeah.
All the side characters are really well written. You know, they have great characteristics and they add much to the story.
Yeah, you know, Two Towers, great side characters, great characteristics. None of them wasted. All of them just beautiful, beautiful people.
We're done with Trump. But now we finally go back to Frodo and Sam and Gollum. And now they've obviously left the Black Gate, so they've retreated down south to like the woods of Ithilien. There's like a little wooded area to the south of the Black Gate and north of Osgiliath. Yeah. That's around the area that they are. So there's rivers, there's creeks, there's streams, there's foresty areas, lots of ruins of like the old. It happened again. This whole stream is fucked.
Yeah, I'll be totally honest. I saw it starting to look like it's gonna go. It's gonna go.
I'm never putting it here again. Oh my god.
Oh my god, why do you fucking light keeps falling?
Technical difficulties.
Dude, what you should do for that is like whenever it falls, just put the fucking the Fallout like technical difficulty loading screen.
I should, huh? But Frodo, Sam, and Gollum, they're going south of the Black Gate, and they're entering the old realm of Gondor.
Mm-hmm.
And Gollum is like foraging in this little stream and everything, trying to catch a fish. Sam says, "Hey, Stinker, don't go too far ahead." And Frodo is like, "Hey, why are you fucking picking on him, dude?"
Yeah.
And Sam basically says the truth, right? There's nothing in his heart but lies and deceit. That's all he cares about is the ring. And Frodo gets very like insulted by that. He says, "You know nothing of them, nothing." And they start arguing. And the reason why Frodo is so upset is because he needs to know that someone that was as corrupted by the ring as Gollum can come back.
Yeah. Because at this point, like, I'm sure he's worried not only about himself, but about Bilbo as well. Because even with Bilbo being away from it for so long, like, you could still see that lust for the ring. As soon as it was within his presence, he fucking flipped a switch.
I completely forgot about that. So that's probably like a needle drilling in the back of his mind too, like, hey, my uncle's going insane too.
Yeah.
I need to know that he can be okay. And also I need to know that after this journey, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to have it to where end of this journey comes and I'm nothing more than just a less devolved fucking Gollum.
Yeah. And it's a good scene and everything. And they come back to each other and they're like, "Sorry, Sam." And he gets angry again. Frodo says, "You know nothing about it, nothing." Walks away. "It's my task, mine, my own. Don't you know what you sound like?" So this is like the first little sprinkling of, you know, him being corrupted by the ring.
Yeah.
Not just tempted, but corrupted.
Yeah.
Changing his personality.
Yeah, because, you know, we start to see it kind of more and more over time in these films of him being corrupted. Like, you know, we'll see it. I think it's next film where they start climbing up the hill and Sam's like, "Hey, you know, I can take it for just a little while." No, it's mine.
Carry it for a while. Carry it for zoom in on the mouth. Carry it for a while. Share the load.
Get away, you son of a bitch.
And then we go to probably one of the more famous Gollum scenes, probably the most famous Gollum scene, honestly, in this whole series of films, is where, you know, Frodo and Sam, they're camping out for the night, and Gollum is talking to himself. And we haven't talked about it much, but Gollum, aka Smeagol, has multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
There's Smeagol, who is the kind-hearted, you know, hobbit hybrid or whatever the fuck kind of species he is.
Yeah, hobbit, like river folk, I think is what he is.
Yeah.
He mix of the two.
And then you have Smeagol, who is like, I think he created that personality to justify him killing his friend.
Yeah.
You know, and there's, you know, polar opposites, yin yang. You got Smeagol, you got Gollum. Gollum is like the evil one that's always like corrupted by the ring, and you have Smeagol, who is like, I just want to have fun.
Yeah, I just want friends again.
I love
friends that aren't dead.
I love Master. And
oh, I love me, Master. Master a good man.
Oh my god. But they have this interaction, right, where Gollum is insulting and making fun of Smeagol's like, "You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. I'm not listening. You're a I got a deep voice right there. Like, I can't do a low monotone voice. You're a liar and a thief. No. That's the thing that sets him over the edge.
Yep.
But Smeagol does, take control of his multiple personality disorder. And this has me thinking, like, all right, for the rest of this film, Smeagol is actually a good guy.
Yeah.
From this point onward, we don't see Gollum. But once Frodo betrays him, and the Athelian Rangers like kick the shit out of him, Gollum comes back.
Yeah.
So it makes me think, Hunter, do you think that if the Rangers didn't beat the shit out of Gollum and he didn't feel betrayed, that he would have stayed a good guy up to the very end?
I think so. I think if, he didn't get the living shit kicked out of him and didn't feel that sense of betrayal from Frodo, that Smeagol would have stuck around, and it might have been able to be like a turning point for him. Like they could have possibly taken him back to the elves and had him get healed similar to that of Bilbo.
Oh, that's a good hypothetical to think about.
Like that, I think that would have been really cool if they could have made that happen. Obviously, we need Gollum to be an antagonist and like constantly always have it to where he's just the slippery snake that he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been a fucking cool thing to see. Like kind of see a little bit more of his, I know he's not human, but that morality, I guess, get restored.
Yeah, he's pretty much a hobbit, just like a proto-hobbit,
His hobbitity.
But it's kind of cool to think about. Like, you've seen legends, hypotheticals or like a fan fiction where Darth Vader comes back and he actually lived and he has Jedi robes on, but he still has like his cybernetics, and he gets partially healed and you can actually see his face now. And
yeah, there's kind of going off topic. There's actually a story on TikTok that a guy wrote. It's like all just a collection of like pictures and things. So it's basically just like pictures with captions on it, tell a story. And there's like it's a 6 or 7 part thing, but it's actually really fucking cool.
Oh, like a fan fiction type deal?
Yeah. Basically, short version of it is Vader gets saved. Like Luke drags him onto the ship and he doesn't end up dying. He goes and hides out for a while, gets himself healed.
Yeah.
And he helps end up saving Leia, Han, and the group from this like hidden Imperial fleet.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's good. I think I have it saved somewhere. I'll send it to you.
Okay. So Smeagol, good guy now, and they traverse, keep going south. They're entering more and more into the realm of Gondor, and they camp out. They have this cool little scene, this funny little scene where Sam is making a stew with the rabbits and everything. And Gollum captures the rabbits and he's like, "Nice, they are young. They are tender." Snaps the fucker in half. "They are fresh. Eat them." And just like flesh and everything is tearing. And Sam is like, "You'll make him sick, you will. Behaving like that. There's only one way to eat a brace of conies." And Sam finally gets to make a stew. And actually, that stew looks smacking.
Yeah, it does.
It looks pretty good. And
I'd love to eat that there stew.
Gollum is like, "It ruins it." And Sam is like, "What's the ruin? There's hardly any meat on him."
Yeah.
And he starts taking nice taters and boiled fried fish. Like you could say no to that. "Oh, yes, we could." Stupid fucking fish.
It's kind of cool. Like, they have this more like lighthearted comedic moment between the two.
Yeah.
Probably because, like we said, it's Smeagol, it's not Gollum.
Yeah.
So I feel like Sam could kind of sense that change in him. Obviously, he's not going to trust him.
Yeah.
But clearly, this is a different individual that he's dealing with. So
yeah.
Because Sam is such a good-hearted person, he can probably like kind of sense that from him more or less.
It makes me sad that they never get to eat this stew.
Dude, I know.
I think about it all the time. Every time I watch this, like, that stew looks smacking and they don't get to eat it. But Sam is looking for Frodo, and Frodo has now stumbled upon like an overclear, like an overhang. And they see, and I believe last time at the Black Gate, the heavily armored guys in like gold armor, that was the Horadrim?
Something like that, yeah.
No, those were the Easterlings. Those guys were the Easterlings. And who we are seeing now in like these Persian cloths is the Horadrim. These guys, kind of similar to the Easterlings, kind of taking like Middle Eastern inspiration, obviously, like, Saudi Arabia, fucking that whole Middle Eastern section of the world, taking inspiration from their apparel, their cloth, headdresses, they, wicker basket kind of armor, and they're riding Mumakil.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're riding like mammoth / elephant like fucking creatures.
Yeah.
Which again kind of goes back to, at least as far as Aladdin goes, like Middle Eastern type shit.
Yeah.
Because that's immediately what I picture is just fucking the guys going up to try to go smooth up Jasmine. Like, oh yeah, get all the fucking elephants. Send them all.
I don't know how it goes. But they come across this overhang, and Gollum is like, evil men, servants of Sauron. He's gathering all legions to him.
Yeah.
And there's easily maybe 1,000 or 1,500 soldiers walking through this valley.
Yeah.
And they get fucking ambushed. There's arrows starting to fly everywhere, and we don't know who it is yet, but these are the Ithilien Rangers.
Yeah.
They're basically scouts of Gondor. And they just take out this whole fucking convoy, and the Mumakil start going crazy. And the Mumakil comes. It seems like the Mumakil is gonna like fucking run over Frodo, Sam, and Gollum.
Yeah.
But takes a hard left, and a guy gets knocked out of the fucking Mumakil, falls fat on his ass, and he's just dead right in front of them.
Yeah.
They try to retreat and everything. They're like, we need to get out of here. And as soon as they try to like turn around, they get fucking shoulder checked by an Ithilien Ranger. It's like, where the fuck are you going, motherfucker?
Yep. You ain't going nowhere. I got 3 minutes with you.
The Ithilien Rangers are all Macho Man Randy Savage. Where you going? You ain't leaving Ithilien except in a body bag. But this is the first time we get to meet Faramir. And it's not stated yet, but Faramir is obviously the brother of Boromir and the son of Denethor, who is like the chancellor or whatever, like the acting president of Gondor is the way you can think about it.
I am Faramir, brother of Boromir, son of Denethor.
Yeah. And he's like the ugly stepchild no one likes to talk to, he's the unloved child.
Yeah.
By Denethor. And we
you
have
know what that's like.
I mean, only child. Well, I'm not really. But Faramir, he comes across the boy that just fell off of the Mumakil and died. He broke his back, broke his spine, probably died on impact.
Yeah.
And Faramir has an extended scene where he looks at the kid, and he actually makes a really good point. He asks him, like, I wonder if he was truly evil at heart. And he beginning to like, the line that separates friend from foe is starting to blur. And Faramir in the books has always had like that intellectual belief on war.
Yeah.
Faramir, he didn't really like war, and he didn't really enjoy killing. He was more of an intellectual, like a bookhead, a bookworm.
Yeah.
He was a nerd.
Fucking nerd.
He pretty much was. He loved his time with books and art and culture and everything.
Yeah.
And Faramir, like, this is one of the few times you get to see that personality come forward in the films. He's looking at this dead soldier from the enemy. He's like wondering, I wonder what he came from, what his life was like. Was he truly evil at heart, or did he just choose the wrong side?
That's because he was from a more civilized age.
But Frodo and Sam, they get taken by these Ithilien Rangers. They said bind their hands, and that's the last time we see them for a little bit. And now we go back to the convoy of Rohan, not immigrants, but like refugees, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
The people that left Edoras and now are trying to seek sanctuary in Helm's Deep. So it's a very long and arduous trip between Edoras and Helm's Deep. They're having to go slow. They have to carry their elderly in fucking wagons and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they've got women, children, elderly, fucking everybody. So it's not like they can go at their regular pace.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to make that trip in 3 fucking days.
And we have a pretty fucking hilarious scene, and I'm glad that this wasn't an extended scene and it was in the base film. And Gimli, which we haven't really had many times to like see him, enjoy his comedic relief. And he's talking to Eowyn, and he's like, "It's true you don't see many dwarf women. They're often mistaken for dwarf men. It's actually come to belief that there are no dwarf women and that dwarfs just sprout from the ground." Eowyn laughs, and Gimli's like, of course, that's ridiculous. And he accidentally like steps on the reins and the horse goes fucking flying forward. He falls off the horse. Like, it was deliberate. It was deliberate.
Yeah, Gimli's just doing his best to try to fucking rizz up Eowyn, trying to go explore her Mines of Moria. And
so Gimli was trying to rizz him with the dwarfism.
Oh, I like that. That's fucking good.
Rizz him with the dwarfism. And after this, we get, it's probably one of the funniest fucking scenes in this whole series, and it's an extended scene that was cut. The stew scene. Do you know about this one with Eowyn?
It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't remember what it is.
So Eowyn, who's pretty much playing the mother to this whole convoy of people, she's basically second in command, like the princess, so she's trying to take care of all the people.
Yeah.
She's made a stew, and she's like, it's not hot, it's not good, but it's hot and warm, it'll comfort you. And gives it to Aragorn. And Aragorn, he's not being subtle at all. Takes a bite, he's like, it's good. It's good. Really? Eowyn, you saw his reaction. It's not good.
Yeah, no, the fact that he literally held it, not even like fully in his mouth. It was still fucking sticking out past his lips. It's like, oh God.
And as soon as Eowyn turns around, he starts to like dump it. And she turns back around and he burns his fucking hand because he's like, oh fuck. She sees me.
Yep. Oh, but nope. Sorry, my hand slipped. I was just having a little bit of a tremor. I was spilling a little bit.
Yeah, he burned his hand. He's like, yeah, Eowyn, what do you want?
what do you want with your shitty ass stew?
Yeah. And Eowyn says, I heard something about you that you rode with my grandfather at the battle of whatever the fuck. But that was impossible. And that would make you like 60, 70? You cannot be 80. And Aragorn says 87. I think 87 is what he says his age is 87.
It's somewhere around there, yeah.
And this is where he starts like elaborating on who he is.
Yeah.
He says, I'm one of the Dunedain, one of a race of humans that is almost extinct now.
Yeah.
We get to see them in the Rings of Power, but
we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't. Put it out of your mind. And so this race of men is blessed with long life. So even though Aragorn in this film looks like 35, at most 40, he's 87. So he ages roughly at half the pace of a normal human being.
Yeah. Which is like, you never would have guessed that his character is set to be that old leading up to this point.
Yeah.
I remember when I first watched it and I was like, what the fuck?
Yep. And Aragorn finishes telling his tale about, how he lived in Rivendell, how he's a Dunedain, there's few of us left, the Northern Kingdom was wiped out long ago. And they go to the camp scene. Aragorn is like smoking a piece and pipe at nighttime and has like this dream vision of Arwen. And while it's kind of weird, I understand we got to have Liv Tyler in every movie, right?
Yeah. Who
plays Arwen, Aragorn's love interest. Otherwise, there's a huge gap in between this film and Return of the King where they meet again.
Yeah.
And you might forget about this character entirely.
Yeah. So you have to have some kind of tie-in connection with this just to, like you said, you kind of refresh your memory of her.
Yeah, pretty much. So Aragorn has a dream. He's dreaming that he's back in Rivendell with Liv Tyler's character Arwen. And he's like, this is a dream, and it is a good dream. And this is not the end. It is the beginning. You must go with Frodo. So he's obviously this isn't real, right? It's not like Arwen is like telepathically talking to Aragorn. So he's mostly battling with his subconscious. Maybe he feels a little bit of guilt that he's not with Frodo right now.
Maybe. I don't know. I've always kind of felt like maybe she had some kind of influence on him, like that she's able to somewhat be able to connect with. Like, doesn't he have a piece of her like jewelry or something on him?
He has the Evenstar on him, which is like an artifact that helps hold back like the decay of time for elves.
Okay.
And I think the way it works is obviously all the elves are leaving Middle Earth, right? Because their light is fading, their grace is fading. I think Elrond made the Evenstar. I'm totally hypothetical right now because I don't know the lore of the Evenstar in the books. But my theory is that what was it? Elrond made the Evenstar for Arwen to hold back the decay of time for his daughter.
Yeah.
And Arwen gave it to Aragorn as like, take this with you. My love goes with you.
Yeah. So kind of what my theory is on it, maybe maybe it has a bit of like her essence or something. So she's
Ooh.
able to kind of connect with him.
That's
Even if
not a
it's
bad
only in his
theory.
dreams. So like that's kind of how I've always envisioned it. Because like obviously, yeah, like it was a dream, but it was so particularly vivid that I
Yeah.
feel like there had to be some kind of connection between the two of them,
Yeah.
other than just memories and shit. Like obviously they have a connection.
That's a nice theory. I actually like that theory. And Aragorn, he's still dreaming, and he's having flashbacks, and he's having a flashback to a time where he's actually getting drilled into by Elrond. And Elrond is like drilling into Aragorn, saying, hey, you need to like go. Let go of Arwen. Let her go take a ship into the west and be with her people.
Yeah.
Let her go to the Undying Lands where her love will live for you forever. But only as a memory, he says, in her heart.
Yeah.
And Elrond just straight up says, I will not abandon my daughter here to die. And you got to understand, like, I actually feel for Elrond in this because, even he knows that the time of the elves is over, and he doesn't want to, like, leave his daughter to Middle Earth, where most likely the enemy is going to win.
Yeah.
And also the elves are losing their immortality. So if she stays here, 99% chance in his eyes, she's going to die.
Yeah. Whether it's from an enemy or just from old age, because as you said, their grace has been diminishing over time, and they need to go back to the Undying Lands to go essentially restore it.
Yeah. And, maybe even if Elrond, likes Aragorn and everything, maybe as like a surrogate son or whatever, he still doesn't want his daughter to die. So he's got to like play the hard ass and everything.
Yeah. I mean, he's just got to be a fucking dad, really.
And Aragorn, even though he loves Arwen, he does want, he's going to make the ultimate sacrifice, right? He's going to be like, let's break up. But even though he doesn't want to break up, he wants to save her life.
Yeah.
Because he knows that as long as they're together, in her eyes, she's always going to go wherever he goes.
Exactly.
But if he breaks it off, he saves her life, even though he loves her very much.
Yeah, he's having to let her go so that way she can continue to live. Like he doesn't want to be the reason that she chooses death, essentially.
Exactly, yeah.
Because like, yeah, they'd get to spend the rest of that time together, but at the same time, like for him, I'm sure that'd be soul crushing to watch her. I would imagine quickly start to diminish, especially like once all the grace was gone. I feel like she would age incredibly quickly, and probably would pass before him.
Yeah, which is actually kind of cute because in the books, as far as I know, only a year after Aragorn dies, she dies too of a broken heart.
Really?
They die very close together in the books, from what I can remember.
That's interesting.
Which is actually very poetic,
Yeah.
But then we go straight to a scene where Legolas is like looking over the horizon, and these two Rohan scouts, we have Hama and the other, Rohan captain that I can't remember his name, but both of them are going around a bend, and the horses start freaking out. And Hama's like, "What's that? What startled the horses? I don't know." And we have a warg rider, and a warg is like, how would you describe a warg, Hunter? I'm trying to like.
That's the shit they're riding, right?
Yeah,
they're kind of like warthog hellhounds.
Yeah, that's the best way I would describe them.
Like they've got the tusks of a warthog, but they very much so remind me of like a demon hound that you'd see just straight up out of hell. Like if you if you had those two merge into one, that's it.
Yeah, it's very hard to describe these things, but that's the best way probably is like a demon hellhound with like a short stubby nose.
Yeah.
Like a boxer nose or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And these things are beefy as hell. And obviously these were sent by Saruman to kill the refugees that are trying to make their way, trying to like intercept them and kill them on the way.
Yeah.
And it takes out Hama, and the other the Rohan captain kills the warg rider. And that's when Legolas and the rest of the fellowship show up. And Legolas kills him, kills the orcs, like, a scout. And Aragorn comes back around the bed. What is it? Wargs, we're under attack. And this is where, the Rohan soldiers rally up together. This is a really cool fucking scene. There's about, 100 or so Rohan soldiers against, equally as many rogue warg riders.
Yeah.
It's slow motion. The two sides, running towards each other, the horses and the warg. So it's a big ass cavalry charge. Legolas is shooting a bow, all slow motion, hops on the horse. And if I remember right, this is one of the scenes where who's the actor that plays Legolas? It's Orlando Bloom, right?
Yeah.
He broke his ribs.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he cracked or broke a rib during this scene where he had to like jump on the horse.
Oh shit.
And that's why I think it's been a while since I watched the extended scenes behind the material, but I think that's why when he jumps on the horse, it looks a little CGI-ish because they just said fuck it.
Oh, gotcha. One thing that's been playing in my head since you were talking about them coming around the corner like, what's going on? Oh, we're getting attacked by wargs. I'm picturing Starship Troopers where they all start fucking running and Rico's like, what's going on? War! We're going to war! Except for them, it's wargs! We're fighting the wargs!
Oh, that is a nice little parallel, huh? But this is a really awesome action sequence between the warg riders and the soldiers of Rohan. They clash into each other, it's very brutal. It's just a big ass brawl, right? There's not really much tactics going on.
Yeah.
Everyone's running around killing each other.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like you said, just a fucking full on brawl. Like there's no strategies whatsoever. It's just you see something, you fucking kill it.
And Gimli instantly falls off the horse again. And there's a warg rider. He just finished killing, a Rohan soldier. He looks at Gimli. He's like, bring your pretty face to my axe. Oh. And I think Legolas kills him with the fucking bow and arrow. It's like, that one counts as mine.
Yeah. One, I just kind of realized too, they kind of look like mutant hyenas too, because they have the fucking line of fur that goes down their spine.
Yeah, they do look like really beefed up hyenas that didn't skip leg day.
Yeah. Like, they never missed a fucking day at the gym.
No.
We do get a little bit of a comedic scene with Gimli. After fucking Legolas kills the one, he gets his own kill. It fucking lands on top of him. He's just sitting there like, oh god. Then here comes another fucking, I don't remember if it's an orc or an uruk. I think it's an orc.
It's an orc, yeah.
Yeah, it starts fucking crawling up over the top, so he just reaches up and snaps his fucking neck. Peekaboo!
Props to Gimli. He can fucking throw hands with orcs and shit. He's like, I'm gonna rip you in half now. Fucking Juggernaut.
He's fucking dwarf Juggernaut.
Yeah. And then,
mini jug.
Like you were saying, the fucking orc falls on him. So now he's got a 400, 500 pound warg on him.
Yeah.
100 pound goblin on him or orc. And then another warg shows up.
Yep.
And I think a Rohan warrior throws a spear at the wargs, and that one falls on him too.
Dude, for me, it's also kind of reminiscent of Resident Evil 2 when he's fighting the one dog, and then the fucking second one shows up like, oh shit.
Oh shit. But the Rohan soldiers do eventually claim victory. Aragorn gets sideswiped by one of the warg riders, and he's holding on to the warg rider, right? He's taking him for a little tumble.
Yeah.
And Aragorn reaches for his elvish dagger, stabs it right in the fucking main chieftain's throat, like in his torso area.
Yeah.
And the goblin falls off, but he's still like tied to the warg. And the warg goes off the cliff and takes Aragorn with him.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, but I think this orc captain right here actually has a name. Like he's called Shakrat or something like that.
I have no idea.
He was in the games. That's why I was referencing it. He's in like a Battle for Middle Earth 2. He's a named captain.
Gotcha.
But I can't remember right now. I think it's Shakrat or some shit. But he's choking on his blood and everything. It's a fatal wound. The other people, Legolas, Gimli, and Theoden come across him. And where Legolas, this is one of the few times he gets fucking angry.
Yeah.
Like Legolas is ready to fucking kill him right then and there. Gimli says something too, like they're fiercely loyal friends. Like, tell me what you saw and I will ease your passing. Throws, has the axe right next to his head.
Yeah.
And he's dead. He took a little tumble down the cliff. And Legolas is like, you lie. Ha, 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 ha. And he just dies. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's like, ha, 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 ha.
Oh.
But the orc had the even star in his hand, clutched in his hand, because, you know, they had a little tussle and everything, probably yanked it off him in the heat in the moment.
Yeah. It's the heat of the moment.
We're so fucking autistic. But Theoden, you know, goes over the cliff. They look down and, dude, this is like a fucking 30-story fall.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking a long ways down.
I don't know how anyone could survive that, even if there's water underneath you.
Yeah, at that point, you'd basically be hitting it at the surface tension of like fucking concrete. Granted, I mean, it is kind of a faster moving river, so that might have helped him. But even then, like, that's still a long ways to fucking hit it.
Yeah, like, look right here. Is he, like, fucking, that is insanely high.
Yeah.
Well, actually, now I look about it, it's about 15 stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a ways up there.
Yeah.
Regardless, that shit's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah. Isn't there a certain velocity that even if you fall in water, you're still going to die?
I think so.
Like if you reach a certain speed,
yeah,
even water's not going to save you.
Yeah, because again, that's where it's going to kind of turn to where when you hit it, it's like smacking on fucking concrete.
Yeah.
You're going to break a shit ton of bones. If you don't die on impact, you're going to die from your wounds.
Yeah, and this is where Theoden says something that's a little cold-blooded, but also a little realistic. He says, get the wounded on horses, the wolves of Isengard will return, leave the dead. And as soon as he says that, Legolas, did you really just fucking say that, motherfucker?
Bitch, you want to throw hands too?
He's pissed off at fucking Theoden King. He's like, motherfucker, Aragorn's probably down there, leave the dead.
Yeah.
You know, he's pissed. And Theoden says, come, you know, puts his hand on, he's acknowledging that, you know, they lost a brother and everything, but he's having to like protect his people, right? He's got to think about the greater good.
Yeah, this is kind of where his leadership skills kind of come to show. Like, obviously, he's made some bad decisions, like, I don't know, taking them to fucking Helm's Deep.
Yeah. Instead of rallying the whole Rohan army against Theoden, or not Theoden, Saruman.
Yeah. But here it's showing that he does care for the livelihood of his people. So he's wanting to try to get them to what he feels like is the safest place for them to be.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fucking dilly-dally over the dead, regardless of your connection with him and things like that. Because all of his, you know, the people that he's lost, that's going to affect him as well, and any other member of their group, but they still have to try to push forward.
Yeah, and, you know, Theoden does have his moments of weakness, you know, because he lets emotion cloud his tactical judgment, but right here, he's actually making practical sense.
Yeah.
It sucks. Like, yeah, you don't have time to bury your dead. That takes like 6 hours to dig a grave for every single fucking... You lost like 30 or so soldiers. That's going to take a fuck ton of time to bury graves for each one of those, you know, consolidate all their arms and weapons. Like, you need to hit the road now. They're going to come back.
Yeah. Like, at that point, best strategy is just to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, Isengard's going to be sending more and more troops. So you just need to fucking get the hell out of there.
Yeah. So the next scene, you know, Eowyn and everyone, the people of Rohan, they come across this little hill, and you see it. Helm's Deep, we've made it. And Helm's Deep has like a big ass, like a deeping wall, like a half circle, and then a secondary, you know, larger circle, and then a long, deep wall. Which I don't understand the purpose of the long ass wall is, you know, just aesthetics, yeah. But it's a heavily fortified position where the only way to get into the main keep is this long ass ramp.
Yeah.
So it actually is a practical, like, sound fort. They are fairly safe there.
Yeah.
So the people get there. There's hundreds of Rohan civilians. You know, they're just crowded on the fucking outside wall and everything. And this is where, because Eowyn hasn't had a chance to like sit down and talk to everyone. And Eowyn was starting to fall in love with Aragorn, completely enamored by him, getting a hardcore crush.
Yeah.
And Eowyn goes to Theoden and says, our people are safe. We've paid for it with many lives. Gimli comes around the corner. My lady, where is Aragorn? Where is he? And this actually gets me a little bit. Gimli struggles. He like barely gets that sound out of his throat. He fell. And you can just see the emotion on Gimli's face.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job with how he was able to portray that emotion, like physically, to where you could actually see just how bad it affected him.
Yeah, because you saw how fiercely loyal they were when, you know, they were about to kill that orc to get information. Like, where the fuck is our friend?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck did you do with my people?
Yeah, and Eowyn, once she learns what happened to Aragorn, she looks at Theoden, her uncle, whatever the fuck, and she feels betrayed. Like, why didn't you tell me this when I just talked to you a second ago?
Yeah.
And he looks at her like, well, he actually turns away his gaze like, fuck, I fucked up.
Yep.
But I think this is probably a good point to stop. We're about an hour into our coverage, and this is where we really set off like the beginnings of the Battle of Helm's Deep. So they've made it to the fortress, they've made it to safety, quotation marks safety.
Yeah.
And this really sparks like the third act of this film. So right here is a good point to stop. But
yep.
Hunter, do you have anything you want to say about this section? Anything that stood out to you?
For me, I'm glad that they kind of brought in more comedic elements in this section just to try to help kind of break it up, because it's been a very serious movie.
Yeah.
Because obviously, with the first one, your comedic sense is, or your comedic section is more so on the front end. Like they heavily load it up because everything's supposed to be merry and lighthearted, whatever.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of conflicts. So I'm glad that they did that to kind of help give us as an audience a little bit of a breather while also sprinkling fucking tragedy here and there.
Yeah, you're right, because, pretty much the rest of this film is just nonstop fighting and, seriousness. And there's very few points of comedic, moment. Well, there's a few. There's a few. But you're right. Like, this is the moment in the film where we're allowed to breathe for a little bit.
Exactly.
Because I like, battle scenes as much as the next guy, but I do like moments in between where you can have a little bit of character development, a little bit of comedic, elements, just to like take a breath and everything. And then you can go back into the fucking intense moments.
Yeah. Like, it makes it to where you can see the characters for who they are, not just like what they're capable of.
Yeah. There are films, where it's just nonstop fighting and, you don't get to like learn about the characters and everything. And this film takes a moment to breathe and sit down with these characters, and you get to learn more about them. That way, when they are in the action, you are attached to them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're able to see them grow, and that makes it to where you're more attentive when they're on screen and things like that.
Yeah.
So it really draws you in. That's why I really like when movies have those types of moments in there. Because again, like, it makes it to where you can really get attached to the characters and get more involved with the plot, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything left to say about this segment. I love it. I love this whole film, but this section did have a little bit of character development and small moments of brevity, and a little bit of action towards the tail end. So it kept you engaged.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to meet new characters, like Eowyn. We met her in the previous segment, but this one we got to really like know her and learn about her. We got to meet Faramir, who we didn't really get much time with this segment, but we'll get more later on.
Yeah.
And just a great segment overall, and I love this film.
Yeah, I mean, we even got to see character development with Gollum/Smeagol.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we got to actually see the fact that he himself, even though he's obviously like so fucking corrupted from the ring, that he also has like inner turmoil with it.
Yep. Which adds complexity to his character. He's not just wholly evil for evil's sake.
Yeah, like, kind of how I look at it is it's similar to what I would imagine like Darth Vader would go through. Because, he still has that battle with the light. Like, every now and then, if you read the books and things like that, he'll get to like certain sites and he'll feel the light side, but then of course he gets pissed because of it.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of cool to kind of see those parallels. Just because he's an evil character doesn't mean that that's all he is. Like, there's still good in him.
Yeah. Well, that's really all we have to say about this segment of The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers Extended Edition.
That's all I have to say.
That's all I got to say about that. That Forrest Gump, and that's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
But anyway, catch us next time on Fantasy Friday, where we get into the nitty gritty of the third act, the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yes.
Is that? I thought you did like an Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, fucking.
I guess kind of like unintentionally.
That's what I thought you were doing. But anyway,
Shit.
join us next time on Fantasy Friday. My name is Adam Edgar,
I'm Hunter Chambliss.
and we will catch you guys on the flip side. Ka-chow.
No. Yes, it got in there.